Most men are afraid to say what they really, really want. And this could be with their girl, it could be even with themselves. And the result of this, well, they get swallowed up alive by resentment. It builds and builds and builds until they can no longer take it. And a lot of men get confused thinking that if they do this, if they hold back, that they'll be sacrificing for her in a good way. But the reality is it just rots out that relationship from the inside out. Now, the fix is not complicated, but it is the exact thing that most men will not do. So in this video, I'm going to show you why bottling up resentment destroys your relationship, how to stop building resentments, and the shifts that you can make so you can lead her without losing yourself. So one of the big misconceptions men have about relationships is that they believe that if they sacrifice themselves more, that means that they love their girl more, and that the more things that they give up, whether it be their hobbies, their interests, their passions, that a woman is going to see that and think, wow, this guy really loves me, and that the man will receive that much more love back. But this is simply not the case. Now, initially, a woman may appreciate the fact that you're giving some things up for her, but at the end of the day, this will actually end up destroying the relationship in many, many cases. Now, why exactly would this be? Well, giving up the things that you're interested in isn't really a noble act, right? This is actually you forfeiting leadership, okay? Because women follow the strongest man in the room, and they follow the strongest man in their life. Ideally, if you're getting into a relationship with a girl, she sees you as that man. So if you start to give up everything, well, essentially what you're doing is you're becoming a different man. You are no longer leading and living by example. You're giving everything up for her, and you're starting to prioritize her as number one. Women don't want to be your number one. They want to be in your life and important, but they want your mission and the things that you hold value to be held above her. Because if you start sacrificing yourself, what's left? There isn't much left for her to hang on to, for her to latch onto. Your world starts to crumble, and she has no direction in which to follow. Okay? So a woman does not want a man who abandons himself to keep her happy. Okay? Women want a man who is strong enough to lead himself, lead her, and not to give up everything that he enjoys in life. Okay, so there are basically two types of men when it comes to how they maintain themselves in a relationship. Type number one is the man who never takes time for himself, okay? And as a result of this, he becomes irritable, resentful, and passive aggressive. Type two, this is the man who keeps up his hobbies, his workouts, and his passions, and as a result of this, he stays sharp, energized, and magnetic. So as you can imagine, type 1 is the type that will ultimately bring destruction to that relationship, because if he's resentful, if he's passive aggressive, he cannot lead properly, and the woman is going to eventually get tired of it. She's going to get sick of it, and this is when a lot of women step out. Now, type 2, this is the man who cherishes his own time. He prioritizes things that he needs to do for himself so he can maintain that masculine leadership for himself and his girl or his family, if he happens to be in one. And of course, this is going to be so much more attractive to any woman. She wants to admire her man from afar and see him doing what he believes in and is passionate about. She doesn't want to see a man groveling and being pissed off because he had to sacrifice the things that he loved just for her. This is where, again, the resentment comes out. She can feel this, and this is going to bring the relationship towards a very, very negative conclusion. So how exactly can you become type number 2, the man who maintains his own lifestyle and keeps that sharpness, that edge, and that charm? So I'm going to give you 3 very simple ways that you can maintain who you are as a man, whether you're single or in a relationship, so you can be the best man for yourself and for her, okay? The first one is keep your hobbies and your passions alive. You don't want to ditch your guitar, do not ditch your gym routine or your weekly poker games just because you're in a relationship, okay? Have nights where you are doing your own thing, whether it be by yourself or with friends. That unpredictability keeps you sharp and keeps her curious. So the second thing is to stop asking for permission. Too many men, once they get into a relationship, treat their girl like their mommy and are always looking for approval before they do anything. They have to run everything by their girl before they can decide for themselves, okay? There's nothing wrong with being considerate of your girl's time, but this does not mean that you have to live your life with a permission slip from her. All right, the third thing is to keep a little mystery. You do not have to give your girl a detailed play-by-play of your new gym routine or some new project at work or every conversation that you have with your friends. You can fill her in on some of the stuff, but leave some things unsaid, okay? The reason why is because you want to let her imagination do some of the heavy lifting, and oftentimes this will put you in a much more positive light. So where do you go from here? So at the end of the day, when you lead yourself first, okay, when you're chasing your passions, you're relieving your stress, you're staying sharp, this sets the tone for you to be a leader that she will follow. Once you establish this from early on in the relationship, this is the man that she will know you to be, okay? And what's beautiful about this is that when she wants to follow you, when she can look up to you, this is how a relationship blooms instead of rotting away with the resentment that, like I said, oftentimes builds up when you don't do things that you would like to do for yourself. Okay, so for example, like if you've gone off and done your own thing and you're giving her her own space and time to miss you, what happens is that, while you're away, she's wondering about you, she's kind of might be missing you a little bit more, that affection's going to grow. So then when you finally return, she's often much more touchy-feely. She's much more affectionate. She's going to be wanting to do things for you because you're finally there for her to love on. And when she does start doing this is your cue then to start leading when it comes to interacting with her again. You can say, this could be to say, hey, babe, we're going to go out tonight. Boom, you've got something already planned. You're leading her out on a date that night. This could be something like planning a little day trip, some little adventure that you guys can go on, or just kind of setting the tone for how you guys are going to be interacting that day if you're just hanging out at home. Okay, so by giving her a little of that space and giving her time to miss you, you are putting yourself in the perfect position to then lead again and maintain being the leader of the relationship between you two. And this is what it's all about. This is what women want, and this is what what makes the man feel most fulfilled and confident in his life. If you've been in a relationship or are currently in a relationship and are just too afraid to say what you really, really want or expect, and you're struggling with this, click the link down below. And this is an opportunity for you and I to talk on a free consult call to see if coaching would be a good option for you. It gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you, where you're getting stuck, what could be holding you back. And if it seems like it would be a good fit to work together, then I'll walk you through how my coaching program works. All right, guys, that does it for today's video. I will see you in the next one.